Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Now today I'm here. The reason for today's video, we're back on Throne and Liberty. This is of course the Korean version. Now we are less than a week from the global open beta for Throne and Liberty. So I wanted to do this video. This is a beginner's guide. Now you might be saying to yourself, oh hold on, the title was a little bit clickbaity. Now the reason for that is there isn't actually any classes per se in Throne and Liberty. What we have is a classless weapon-based system. But for ease and for brand new players, most people still say classes just because it's a lot easier to explain and to understand. So for the purpose of this video, I'm going to break them down into classes just to make you guys and girls aware. And the reason for this is, like I said, this is for brand new players. So if you're new to the channel, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. If you're not new to the channel, don't forget to smash the like button. It's free and yeah, it helps me out. It helps this boomer out. So thank you, much love. Share this video to your nan, your granddad, whoever, your teacher, your auntie, your uncle. Share it to everybody and let's go. So basically, what I wanted to do is explain to you the play style. So in Throne and Liberty, you have two weapons. So for me, I have a staff and I have a longbow. Now the purpose for me is I'm playing at a full range glass cannon. So if you want to be, let's start off with an assassin style. So we'll go with the assassin class, if you like. Now there's two sort of options you have for this. You have the crossbow and dagger, which is the very, like, for you zoomers out there who like really fast paced combat, you know, pressing lots of buttons all the time, then I would suggest going with the crossbow and dagger. Now I will say the crossbow and dagger does start off slow, as does a lot of these combinations, to be fair, but crossbow and dagger starts off slow, but it is the fastest, like, APM class, if you like, in this game. Very, very fast. You're zooming around, you know, going to stealth, a lot of damage. It's currently still in Korea, it's currently still the highest single target DPS. It depends when we're talking. If we're going to go into like real like hardcore late game, then there are other weapon combinations that can output the same damage, but just not as fast. One thing to take note is obviously it is a squishy class. You can obviously, the beauty with Throne and Liberty is you can make any class relatively tanky if you're going to go with a lot of evasion and a lot of strength for more HP. But I don't want to go too deep into it. I just wanted to make this as beginner friendly as possible. So like I say, if you want an assassin style class with fast paced action, fast paced movement and stuff like that, then go with crossbow and dagger for PvP and PvE. It's a lot of fun. Then you have the other choice if you want to be like an assassin style. The melee choice you have is greatsword dagger. Now again, you can be you know, pretty tanky as a greatsword dagger. I've seen many players that play greatsword dagger and they're very, very tanky and they still output a lot of damage. And of course, the downsides to crossbow and dagger and greatsword and dagger is for PvP, obviously you really need to get up close, because although crossbow is technically a quote-unquote ranged weapon, it's not really. It's a mid-range weapon. You can extend the range, but it's nothing like the staff and longbow when it comes to range. You do need to get up in their face, and it's obviously the same for the greatsword and dagger. You need to get right into the mix of things, do your stuns, do your damage, get a kill, stealth, and get out, basically. So if you like those two sort of play styles, then I would suggest trying greatsword dagger or crossbow and dagger. Now, if you want to be, if you like being a healer, a support healer in other MMOs, then you need to be picking up a wand. Wand is the only full like heal weapon, basically. So there is multiple choices when it comes to being a healer, because you can be a full healer, or you can be an off healer, or you can also be more of a disruptive healer, and I'll explain what I mean by that. So if you want to be a full healer, I would suggest you to go with wand and staff, which is a full, full magic weapons. Reason for that is because obviously the wand does do a lot of damage as well, by the way. But the wand, obviously, you make your wand the primary weapon. You lean more into heals, and then you have the staff there to do some more DPS. But also the staff has a freeze ability, so you can obviously freeze the enemy, whether this is PvE or PvP, and get out of there. And then if you want to be like an off healer, which I've done in the past, you can make staff your main weapon and then wand your secondary. But most of the time you're going to go wand staff, that's what you want most of. Then the next choice you have is wand and dagger. Now wand and dagger is very, very good in endgame, but wand and dagger is more of a disruptive class. It's really, really good to go in there stealthed, curse the enemies in PvP, and then get out of there basically. Now you can of course be a full healer using wand and dagger, but I personally would prefer, and I think most people would prefer, to have a wand and staff as their main healer. And then if you want to be more of a disruptor, like I said, then you can go in there as a wand and dagger, do some burst DPS, and get out of there. But you can of course, like I say, off heal as a wand and dagger. And then you can be a paladin. Now a paladin, you can be basically wand with sword and shield. Now you're basically a tank and a healer, so hence you're the paladin class. Whereas if you're like, I feel like the paladin is really good for a person who obviously wants to, solo farm lots of good like high-end mobs. You can solo farm and pretty much not die. Also, if you're going to be doing PvP and you are more of a shot caller for your guild, for your team, then being a paladin is very, very good because you have high self-sustain, obviously a lot of damage reduction. You can of course still heal your teammates around you as well. So that is another really good choice. Currently with the balance of KR, paladins are pretty much broken. They can do a lot of damage and pretty much not die. You can 1vx as a paladin, and you're not going to kill everyone the fastest, but they're not going to be able to kill you either. So it's one of those funny, it's very it's getting a lot of stick right now. So hopefully in August they are doing a bit, they're doing balance changes and stuff like that. So we'll have to see how it goes. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see, like I say. So we've covered the assassin style, we've covered the healing style. Now if you want to be a tank, you have multiple choices again. So like I said, you can be sword and shield and wand. You can be sword and shield and a greatsword, and then you can be sword and shield with a dagger. So it just depends. The most common full tank is sword and shield with greatsword, because you have stuns, you have good damage reduction, you also have a good DPS output. Like I said, if you're feeling spicy and you want to be a paladin, then go with the sword and shield and wand. And if you want to be sword and shield dagger, because that can help you with your evasion, because with daggers you can get more evasion, which is for good damage reduction basically. And then we have the magic, so the mage type class. I've gone, like I said, I'm more of a magic ranger. So I've got my staff, and then I've got my longbow this is fully long range build. I'm building this. Obviously, you don't have to build it full long range, but this is the main reason to do this is to have long range. So the plan is to be a glass cannon, as much DPS as you can, and basically being able to attack people from as far as possible. Now, this works really, really well in PvE, and in mass scale PvP, this is really, really good because you can poke from the shadows if you like. I can be 30 meters away, for example, and I can poke damage at people and kill them. But the downside is obviously the second somebody gets close to me, I'm pretty much dead. And then the other choice you have, like I said earlier, you have the staff and wand to be, this is more for DPS. You can still be an off healer with that weapon choice. I've done it before myself. And then you have the staff and dagger. Again, staff and dagger is more of a burst DPS. You can go stealth. You know, you can do, the meta currently is a bomb meta where you're using staff and daggers, you go invisible, and then you cast meteors on the enemy in PvP. Again, can be a squishy class, or you can build it quite tanky as well. And then we have the full-on like ranger class where you can be longbow and daggers. So again, you can sort of class that as an assassin as well, but it's just your typical, typical bow and arrow build, high damage, high burst. Again, can be squishy. And I did actually forget to mention when I was talking about the healer class, not many people really use this currently, but you can also play longbow and wand, which is a support class. It's not the best healer, and it's not the worst, but I did forget to mention that, so apologies. So yeah, it all depends on your said playstyle that you like doing in other MMOs and what you would like to be in Throne of Liberty. Now, I will say, I'm not your dad, so you can do what you want, unless my kids are watching, and then yes, you need to do what I say. But basically, there's going to be literally after the closed beta has ended, open beta, sorry, after the global beta has finished, we're going to be getting a brand new update in Korea where the skills and everything is changing. So I wanted to say, in my opinion, don't waste your time on the open beta trying out all these different weapons and combinations. Like I said, you can do what you like. If you want to do that, if you want to spend the 5 days just trying out tons of different combos, by all means go ahead. But if you want to actually get some fun, try out the siege, try out PvP, the dungeons, I would suggest, just based off what I've just told you, choose a playstyle, go with those weapons and have some fun, because it's only 5 days and then you have to wait until September the 17th. And like I said, the skills and stuff and the meta and all of that jazz is going to change. Now, for example, what I'll show you is I'll fly down here, and so for example, with the staff, currently when I cast a fireball, there is a casting time and I'm stationary. But with the new changes that are coming into the game on July the 24th, you can completely change your playstyle, and you can completely change the skills. So there's a choice, for example, where I can make fireball instant cast. So there's no longer a casting time. So if I show you here, but for now I have to stand still. I can't move and I have to cast. There's a delay. But like I said, come when the changes happen, I won't have to worry about that. I can choose to go down the instant cast route, which is what I will 100% do, because I don't like the fact that I have to stand still, and it's just a bit frustrating. So yeah, so bear that in mind. Like I said, many things are changing. Literally a day after the open beta finishes, there's going to be huge changes coming to the game in Korea. So yeah, just remember that. Like I said, end of the day though, you can do what you want, but in my honest opinion, I would suggest just picking a playstyle, going with that combination, learning it, getting a feel for it under the fingers with good ping, because you haven't got to worry about obviously any high ping from playing in Korea. And yeah, and then if you've had a lot of fun and you want to delve deeper into the game before global launch and you want to play on Korean servers, you're going to need to get yourself a Korean verified account. I'm not going to explain how to do that. You should understand why, but it's not hard. You can find out on the internet if you do a little bit of research. You're going to need a VPN. I myself use ExitLag, and I highly recommend to use that. I have a link in my description down below, so go ahead, follow that link, and you can get free trials for ExitLag and stuff like that. But anyway, that's going to be it for today. I've got some more beginner guides coming out very soon for you guys and girls to try and help you understand the game a little bit more, so that you're not wasting too much time in the open beta. And yeah, that's going to be it. Like, share and subscribe. Have a beautiful day, and I'll see you very soon. Take care. Peace.